You can feel it, can't you? We're so close to witnessing something historic, and believe it or not, most people have no clue what's about to happen. This isn't just another October. Think of it as a turning point. If you've been putting in the good work, planting those good seeds, you're about to see it all pay off. But if you've been a bit careless, well, October makes sure everyone faces their own harvest. And in just a few days, one of the biggest sky events of the year is going to make sure that nobody is left unchanged. But that's just scratching the surface. Because starting tomorrow, this month is going to zero in on a very specific group of people. This week isn't happening by chance. It's aimed right at the ones who are meant to be here for this. You know, the chosen ones. While most of the world just sees another week on the calendar, those of us who carry that real light inside will feel it like an alarm going off in our souls. The planetary alignment, the supermoon, that weird pressure building in the air, it all feels so much sharper for us. Other people might just feel a little restless or confused. But if you're one of the chosen, you're going to feel pushed, pulled, and tested. And it's not a punishment. It's more like a signal flare. Here's the thing. This pressure isn't here to break you. It's here to separate you. Because by the end of the week, the line between those who are just watching and those who are truly awake is going to be crystal clear. You know how it is. Every reward in life comes with some kind of test. Well, on October 6th, the moon is going to stand right next to Saturn, and that alignment is no accident. Saturn has always been the planet of rules, of tough lessons, and of accountability. It's the one that shows up and asks, "So, are you actually ready to handle the weight of what you've been asking for?" This isn't just some random thing happening in the sky. It's like the universe's gatekeeper is standing right in your path, right before the harvest moon unlocks all of its light. Think of it like a final exam you didn't know you were studying for. All this time, you've been preparing, and now Saturn is pushing you right into the spotlight. For some of us, that's going to feel like pressure, like things are slowing down, or maybe old fears will start bubbling up. But those moments aren't here to punish you. They are here to prove you. See, the gatekeeper doesn't just step aside for anyone. It only opens that gate when you show that you've learned the lesson you were meant to learn. This is why so many of us are going to feel so tested this week. Our choices will feel heavier. Our responsibilities will feel more demanding. But for those who push through, the energy from the supermoon won't just light up the sky. It's going to light up the entire path ahead. Saturn isn't denying you. It's just demanding that you earn it. The harvest moon doesn't just show up. It arrives to collect. On October 7th, the sky is going to absolutely explode with one of the most incredible events of the year, the Harvest Supermoon. And this isn't just any full moon. We're talking about the biggest, the brightest, and the most powerful moon of the season. It doesn't just light up the night, you know. It exposes everything that's been building up inside of you. There's a reason they call it the harvest moon. Everything you've planted, everything you've cared for, and everything you've been quietly carrying, it's all about to be brought out into the open. Some of you are going to see your dreams come to life in ways you never even imagined. Others might feel the heavy weight of the things they ignored. But here's the deal. Nobody escapes its light. This isn't about some vague energy or just being in a mood. This is about real results. The kind of results that either shake your confidence or finally give you that breakthrough you've been praying for. The kind of results that make you realize October isn't just another month. It's a reckoning. The harvest moon doesn't ask what you wanted. It shows up and delivers exactly what you've earned. You know what's funny? It's often the seeds you forgot you even planted that end up surprising you the most. October isn't just giving us a pretty supermoon to look at. It's sending a massive wave of energy that brings things into reality, and it's impossible to ignore. That harvest supermoon is charging up the whole first week of the month with this magnetic pull, and it's drawing out everything you've been carrying inside you, whether you realized it or not. Think back over the last few months for a second. Every little choice, every bit of effort, every small act of kindness or self-control, none of it just disappeared. It's all been gathering power, growing just under the surface. And now, with this supermoon, it's like the ground is finally cracking open to show you what's been growing. You might suddenly see doors opening that were locked before. Opportunities might just appear out of thin air, or relationships could shift for the better. And it's not because it's random magic. It's because you planted those seeds a long time ago. But here's the twist. The harvest doesn't pick and choose. If you've been planting seeds of doubt, neglect, or fear, well, this week might bring that to the surface, too. That's why so many people get caught off guard by harvest moons. It shows you exactly what you've been growing, even the stuff you didn't pay attention to. So when this week feels like a sudden rush of synchronicities, a moment of incredible clarity, or even an unexpected conflict, just remember, this is the manifestation you didn't see coming. The results might be shocking, but they're also proof that nothing you went through was for nothing. The harvest doesn't just give you what you asked for, it gives you what you've earned. You're both the farmer and the one who reaps the rewards. The harvest moon isn't just about what's happening up there in the sky. It's really about what's happening inside you. There's this powerful archetype, this ancient pattern that's at play here. It's a part that lives inside every single one of us. The harvester. It's that part of you that understands patience, that knows what discipline feels like, and that just gets when the time is right to collect what's yours. This week, that part of you is being switched on. You'll start to notice it in little ways. Maybe a sudden urge to clean up your space, or an instinct to finally finish old projects. Or maybe that feeling that you can finally see the big picture, like all the puzzle pieces are clicking into place. These aren't just coincidences, you know. That's your inner harvester waking up, reminding you that life moves in cycles and that your own life has seasons, just like nature. And here's what makes that so powerful. When you consciously step into that role, you stop feeling like life is just happening to you. Instead, you feel like you're moving in rhythm with something so much bigger. The harvester doesn't freak out when a storm comes because they know that what they planted is strong enough to survive. The harvester doesn't hold on to things that are gone because they trust that the next season will bring something new. This week is basically a mirror. It's asking you, are you going to embrace the harvester inside you, or are you just going to let this season pass you by? Because once that moon starts to fade, the window closes, and whatever isn't gathered might just be lost until the next cycle comes around. The harvester archetype isn't about just waiting for good things to happen. It's about claiming what is already yours. The harvest moon doesn't just gently show up. It's designed to overwhelm you. And that's on purpose. The first week of October isn't supposed to feel calm and easy. It's not meant to let you just float through your days like nothing's going on. Instead, it's going to flood you. With emotions, with things you have to do, with unexpected opportunities, and even with old fights you thought were long gone. Everything just seems to show up all at once, piling on top of each other until you feel like you can't possibly handle it all. And that is exactly the point. Think about it. When life gets overwhelming, what happens? It forces you to see what you've been trying to avoid. The Harvest Supermoon doesn't want you to tiptoe around your problems. It wants to shove them all out into the open so you have no choice but to look at them. That sudden argument, that unexpected bill, that rush of creativity or an opportunity that feels way too big to handle, none of it is random. It's overload by design. And here's the secret. Overload is what forces a breakthrough. That pressure isn't there to destroy you. It's there to shape you. Diamonds are only created under intense pressure, right? And it's the same thing here. The universe is piling things on you right now because it knows you're finally ready to see what you're really made of. Yes, it's going to feel like too much. Your emotions might be all over the place. Your responsibilities might all clash. Even your body might feel it. You might be restless, exhausted, or have these bursts of nervous energy. But hidden inside all that chaos is clarity. When you're overloaded, you stop overthinking and you just start doing. You figure out what's really important because you don't have time for the stuff that isn't. The harvest doesn't test you with silence. It tests you with noise, with chaos, and with pressure. And it's in that storm that your real strength is revealed. So if this week feels like you're juggling way too much, don't look at it as a punishment. See it as proof that you've reached a new level. The overload isn't here to break you. It's here to make sure you break through. Authority is going to come knocking on your door this week, but it's not here to crush you. It's here to test whether you'll answer with fear or with your own truth. When the moon gets close to Saturn, authority figures don't just hang out in the background. They step right into your life. This can show up in ways that feel really personal. Maybe a boss demands more than they should. A parent or an elder puts pressure on you with their expectations, or even a system or a rule suddenly becomes impossible to ignore. Sometimes it's subtle, like a look of disapproval or a new responsibility you didn't ask for. And sometimes it's loud, like a direct challenge that makes you feel totally cornered. But no matter how it appears, the energy is asking you the same question. Are you going to back down, or are you going to stand firm? Saturn doesn't just hand out authority. It is authority. So when you feel that pressure this week, it's not random and it's not a punishment. It's a very deliberate test of your backbone. It's testing whether the light you're trying to claim under this harvest moon can actually hold up against outside control. It's Saturn playing the role of the gatekeeper again. But this time, instead of guarding your inner growth, it's testing your strength out in the world. Can you hold your ground when someone in a position of power tries to push you? Here's what makes this moment so important. A lot of chosen ones are going to surprise themselves. You might find that you just can't blindly follow orders anymore. A request that would have made you fold a year ago will now light a fire inside you. An inner voice that says, "No, that's not who I am anymore." And that feeling isn't just you being rebellious. It's a sign that you're in alignment. Your soul just can't bow down to an authority that goes against your truth. True authority isn't about who gives you orders. It's about who you refuse to betray inside yourself. Of course, the confrontation might feel uncomfortable. Some of you will feel tension at work, pressure at home, or just a weird vibe in social situations. But remember, this isn't meant to break you. Saturn's heaviness is there to make your own resolve stronger, to force you into a choice that shows you what you're really made of. When you get squeezed, your true shape comes out, right? This is the moment when many of us realize that authority isn't just something out there, it's something inside us. If you can master your own fears and doubts, then no boss or rule can truly control you. The whole thing becomes less about them and more about you. Saturn is asking, are you going to trade your inner freedom just to get approval from the outside? Or are you going to stand so firmly in your own truth that nothing can shake you? The strongest spine is built when it's underweight. So this week, don't be surprised if someone tries to pull rank on you. Don't be shocked if the rules feel tighter or more suffocating. And please, don't think it's the universe punishing you. See it for what it is, a rite of passage. It's a cosmic test to see if you're ready to step into the light of the harvest moon, not as a follower, but as someone who has earned their own authority. Let's be clear, this isn't just another week on the calendar. It's a trial by fire, and it's going to decide how the rest of your October plays out. The first week of this month is not going to be light. It's not going to be casual, and it's definitely not random. You can feel it, right? It feels like a stage is being set. First, the moon gets right up next to Saturn, and it feels like a cold hand on your chest, reminding you of your limits, your duties, and the weight of the choices you've been putting off. Then, barely a day later, the Harvest Supermoon just explodes, flooding the sky with so much light that you simply can't ignore it. These two energies, hitting us back to back, are not an accident. Together, they create a gateway, a test followed by a revelation, and how you navigate it is going to shape everything that comes next. Saturn comes in to strip away all the illusions. It points out the parts of you that are still hiding behind excuses or fear. If you've been procrastinating on stepping up, Saturn is that voice that says, "Time's up. No more pretending." And then the harvest moon arrives, not to judge you, but to light everything up. It shines a massive spotlight directly on what you've been planting over the last few months. Your choices, your habits, the energy you've been putting out. You just can't hide a harvest. It shows itself whether you feel ready or not. October doesn't ask you who you want to be. It shows you who you've already become. For some, this is going to feel heavy, almost like you're standing in front of a cosmic mirror that shows you everything at once. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your wins, and your flaws. For others, it's going to feel like life just hit the fast-forward button. Opportunities pop up, dreams start coming true, and rewards finally land in your lap. But the truth is, both things are happening at the same time. That's what makes this week so intense. You're being confronted and rewarded, challenged and blessed, all at once. And how you react to this push and pull is what sets the tone for the rest of the month. If you crumble under Saturn's test, October might feel like it's just dragging you deeper into a struggle. But if you face it, if you accept the pressure as something that's making you sharper instead of punishing you, then that supermoon's light feels like a reward, not a burden. It becomes the fuel that pushes you into the exact reality you've been waiting for. Breakdowns and breakthroughs are basically twins, you know. Which one you get just depends on how you respond. The first week is October's great reckoning. It decides whether you walk into the rest of the month carrying fear or carrying fire. It decides if your harvest becomes something that nourishes you or something that weighs you down. The Moon and Saturn aren't just giving us a casual opening act. They are handing you a choice. Are you going to fold under the pressure, or are you going to let it forge you into the person this month needs you to be? Because here's the truth. October doesn't bend for anyone. It sets the rules. But how you play the game, how you rise or fall in this first week, determines whether the rest of this month feels like a punishment or like your destiny. You know how we think the Halloween season starts on the 31st. It doesn't. It begins the moment October's first week throws open its gates. When most people think about October, they're picturing costumes and pumpkins and one single night of spooky fun. But the truth is so much deeper and way more spiritual than that. The very first week of October is when the shadow really starts to move. That Harvest Supermoon on October 7th isn't just another full moon. Think of it as the lantern that lights up the path into the darker half of the year. Its glow is huge, you can't miss it, and it stretches this eerie light all the way to the end of the month, setting the stage for everything that's going to happen by Halloween. It's like the universe doesn't wait. It flips a switch right at the beginning, and the entire vibe just changes. The Saturn alignment on October 6th plays a huge part in this. Saturn doesn't show up with a warm and fuzzy feeling. It arrives more like a shadow at the edge of the light, reminding you of weight, of structure, and of consequences. In a way, Saturn is like the first whisper at the door, the creak of the hinges as the spiritual doorway to the darker season begins to open. It's not meant to scare you. It's meant to make you get serious. It's here to make you realize that October isn't just for fun and games. It's an initiation. It's the start of a month where the veil between our world and the unseen world gets thinner every single day. This is what makes October so different. It doesn't just give you one big event at the end. Instead, it starts with this slow, deliberate unmasking. The Harvest Supermoon floods everything with light, but that light doesn't just show you the beautiful things. It also reveals the shadows, the patterns, and the truths you might have been trying to ignore. That's why this time feels so charged, almost unsettling. Because a light this bright doesn't let anything hide. But this isn't a season of doom. It's a season of truth. Masks start to crack. Pretenses fall away. By the time Halloween gets here, those of us who walked through Saturn's tests and stood in the light of the harvest moon will find ourselves in a completely different skin, our real one. This is what October demands, that we peel away all the fake layers so our true soul can finally be seen. October strips the costume off before you even have a chance to wear it. And that's why the Halloween shadow is already here. It's not waiting for the 31st. It's here right now, in the clash of Saturn and the blaze of the harvest moon. This is the real beginning of the shadow season, where light and dark dance together, and your spirit is asked to choose. Will you keep hiding behind a mask, or will you walk, unmasked and bold, into the rest of the month? Because October doesn't just haunt you, it reveals you. And that revelation always starts sooner than you think. If you're finding yourself wide awake when you know you should be sleeping, it means the sky is trying to tell you something. The first week of October doesn't just mess with your days. It messes with your nights too. That harvest supermoon, being one of the brightest all year, refuses to let the world get completely dark. Its light is so powerful it pours right through your windows and even into your subconscious mind. For some of you, this brightness is going to feel like insomnia. For others, it'll be tossing and turning, getting these sudden flashes of clarity at 3 a.m. or waking up with thoughts you never asked for. You might just think you're restless because of stress, but what if it's something simpler and way stranger? What if the sky itself is literally shaking you awake? That Saturn alignment just before the supermoon adds even more to this. Saturn is pressing down with its lessons, demanding that you pay attention. When you mix that with a super bright harvest moon, you don't get peaceful sleep. You get wake-up calls. You get clarity that feels like it's being forced on you. And these aren't just random sleep problems. They're signals. Saturn is saying, face the truth. The moon is saying, I'll light up the path. Together, they reach into your nights to make sure you can't just sleep through what's happening. Insomnia isn't always a problem. Sometimes, it's an initiation. This is why so many people say their sleep gets weird during supermoons. The veil feels thinner at night. Your body feels more alert, your mind more active, even when the clock says it's the middle of the night. Some people wake up full of amazing ideas. Others feel heavy, like their soul is working overtime while their body is just lying there. And then there are the dreams, so symbolic, so intense, and sometimes so incredibly vivid. You need to pay attention to these, because this week isn't just messing with your schedule. It's opening up a conversation between you and the unseen world. Especially for the chosen ones, these sleep issues are not accidents. They're like coded messages. They shake you out of your routine to show you what you've been missing. Waking up at the exact same time every night. That's not a coincidence. That's alignment. It's as if the sky is pulling you into its own rhythm. The harvest moon isn't just shining on the ground. It's shining right into your nervous system, into your spirit, lighting up whatever needs to be seen. October doesn't care about your bedtime. It cares about your awakening. So if you find yourself staring at the ceiling when you should be asleep, don't just brush it off. Don't blame it on coffee or stress. See it for what it is, a signal. The supermoon is talking. Saturn is demanding that you be present. And your soul is being kept awake because something wants your full attention. This is not a week for sleeping. It's a week for seeing. The moon wants to set you free, but Saturn is demanding you first prove that you're even worthy of that freedom. This is where this week in October gets a little tricky. Just one day before the supermoon floods the sky with all of its emotional light, Saturn has already put its heavy hand on everything. That Moon-Saturn lineup on the 6th isn't just some casual event. It's setting the stage for a clash that you're going to feel deep down inside. Imagine the soft glow of the moon. It's all about feelings, intuition, and your imagination. Now, picture Saturn. It's cold, serious, and it demands discipline, structure, and respect for the rules. These two don't exactly get along, and when they push up against each other like this, you're caught right in the middle. This is the push and pull that's going to define the whole first week of October. Freedom versus duty, expansion versus limitation, emotion versus logic. You might feel like one part of you just wants to break free and dive into all the dreams the supermoon is promising, while another part of you feels chained to your responsibilities, to deadlines, and to expectations that just won't let go. It's not a contradiction, you know. It's a necessary tension. Saturn isn't blocking your path because it hates the moon's light. It's standing there to make sure that when the light finally comes, you're strong enough to actually handle it. Think of it like this. The moon opens the door, but Saturn is the one guarding it. If you want to walk through, you can't just float in on a wave of emotion. You have to show Saturn that you've done the work, that you've faced your stuff, and that you're willing to be responsible for the very blessings you're asking for. Light is beautiful, but without discipline, it will blind you instead of guiding you. This inner battle might show up in very real ways. You might feel torn between wanting to daydream and having to grind through real-world work. You might have these emotional highs followed by sudden moments of feeling heavy. Some of us might even feel it in our bodies: tension, pressure headaches, or just feeling pulled in two directions at once. Don't think this is a sign of failure or that you're out of balance. It's Saturn testing if you can hold your center while being pulled. And here's the truth. Both of these forces are working for you, not against you. The moon brings the vision and the energy of the harvest. Saturn brings the discipline and the grounding to make sure you don't waste it. Together, they create this rare opportunity: the emotional clarity to see what you want, and the structure to actually go out and make it real. The moon teaches you to dream. Saturn teaches you how to endure. It's only when these two clash that you find out if your dream is strong enough to survive in the real world. So if you feel stretched thin this week, don't fight it. This clash between light and discipline is creating something new in you. It's shaping you so you can step into your harvest without getting lost in the glow. It's proof that what you're carrying is worth the wait. When the tension feels heavy, just remember this: pressure only comes when you're carrying something valuable. If you feel stretched, it's because you're holding a future that not everyone is built to carry. This clash isn't here to break you. It's here to sharpen you. Take this week as proof that you're being trusted with more vision, more strength, and more destiny. Walk through that doorway with your head held high, because the light is waiting for you. And this time, you'll be ready to hold it. Hey, if you're still here watching, I just want to say thank you for your time. If you enjoyed this and want to see more stuff like it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. Your support really does mean a lot. Feel free to share what you're going through or any thoughts you have down in the comments below. Until next time, take care, and I hope to see you again soon.